Hey everybody, another ramble in the woods. It's been a while since I've done a video. Life has been pretty hard recently, so I've just been too busy, practically, physically, emotionally, psychologically. It's all been kind of rough, but things are smoothing out. And so I thought I would just do a bit of a ramble. I've seen a couple of videos recently that people have done where they're talking about the concept of a soul deck and where the idea came from, whether they believe in it, what are different ways of understanding what it is. And I think my first question when I hear soul deck, that phrase is, what is a soul? I think for me personally, before I can decide whether before I decide that soul decks exist, before I decide that a soul deck, actually exists, I have to decide for myself what a soul is. And so I thought I would go over three concepts of the soul. I'm sure there's plenty of other concepts of what a soul is. But there's three main ones that I know of. And one of them, going back to Aristotle, and the classical philosophers, the soul is a rational entity of the body, of the mind. So basically the soul is the mind. It's what gives it life, it's what gives it thought, it's what separates it from, lower beings. And so it doesn't survive the body. It's inherent to the body. It's inherent to the mind. It's what is sort of like that spark of life that animates the body, but once the body dies, the soul dies as well. So that concept of, climbing over a log, that concept of the soul speaks to me, speaks to my doubts, my skepticism, where the soul is something that's very important, very essential to the spark of life, but it's very much entwined with the mind and what makes us rational beings. And another concept I would say is from Buddhism. And in Buddhism, the soul, there is no permanent soul. The soul is always changing. There's no, ontologically set, solid, never going to change beingness that sort of animates the body and then leaves the body. And then it's the same exact thing when it leaves the body and goes into another body, or, transforms into that which becomes all or nothing or what have you. I'm not an expert in Buddhism, so someone else might be able to explain it better than me. And then there's the Christian concept of dualism, and it's not just found in Christianity, but that's the most popular manifestation, is the dualism of the body and the soul. So there's two different things. There's the body, and then there's the soul that resides in it, and then when the body dies, the soul moves on eternally. So it lasts forever. And so these three concepts, pick which one you might believe in, or if you believe in some other concept, how does that affect how you see a soul deck? Like, if you see the soul as just that animating force, that thing that gives you reason, then the soul deck is connected basically to your mind, your rational thought, your identity, maybe your existential journey from birth to death. Whereas for the dualism, basically a soul deck is, your soul is unchanging. So a soul deck in that understanding, which I think a lot of people, that's what their understanding of a soul is when they're talking about a soul deck, is that their soul is something that not only animates the body, but it's never changing and it goes on beyond the body. And so there's like a spiritual connection there. that goes beyond the material realm. But if you speak to a more Buddhist concept of the soul, where the soul is impermanent, how do you have a soul deck if there is no permanent soul? So these are just things I'm thinking about. I'm agnostic about what exactly a soul is. I see no proof one way or the other, which one, might be it. I sort of flop between the Buddhist concept and the Aristotelian concept, where it's just the animating force that, gives you rationality, but I also think that maybe the soul is just impermanent. It's the impermanent energy, and is always changing. Because I know I feel different all the time. I'm constantly changing. So I don't know about you, but like from one minute to the next, from one day to the next, I will feel different. So I'd be interested in how you see a soul, how you define the word soul, and how that affects how you see a soul deck, and if you believe in a soul deck. And if you do believe in one, how does that relate to how you view a soul? So if anyone wants to comment below, I'd really be interested if anyone has watched this video and if you have thoughts on this, because I'm interested in just hearing what other people believe, and I'd be interested to hear what you believe about the soul, and what is it, and what is a soul deck in relation to that. So you have a good evening, day, morning, and I'll talk to you. Bye.